Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is lesson 19 or 20 of Lessons for Full Spectrum Humans, the 2018.2 semester. It is a semester wrap-up. So last week, I had a little break because I went to the Stargate to the Cosmos conference. It was a wonderful experience where I got an opportunity to give both a lecture, like just a presentation, I call it Food for Your Mind, of what this Flying Rainbow Lasagna Shake is all about. And then I also did a workshop. So at the workshop, and so I have, what I'm going to do today is, since this is the semester wrap up, and also, hello, it's October 31st, it's Halloween. So I'm not in costume. I'm not wearing my ordinary human disguise so that you can see what my real skin looks like underneath. And if any of my wonderful students who are online right now are in costume, I'll have an opportunity at the end, if you want to turn your cameras on, we can, so that you can see how wonderful everyone looks. But no pressure if you're not on. Looks like Sandy might have something to share, but whatever. So yeah, just fun, because first of all, yes, I believe in being lighthearted and having some fun. Great to see you, Sandy. She's down over in Australia. Yeah, I'm not very serious, but that doesn't mean that these concepts aren't worthy. They're definitely worthwhile concepts to talk about and learn about. Oh, and let me just make sure that everybody's muted. You're all wonderful. It just makes it difficult sometimes on the playback. So, at the workshop over the conference weekend, I did a presentation first with like animations and everything about how to do it, and then a brief demonstration of how to do the actual dance. And I'm not sure if everyone was able to access the live stream or if the camera was pointed at a decent angle, because some of it I did sitting on the floor, because I actually one of the things I wanted to really emphasize is the idea that you don't need any special equipment. So you guys know I have this awesome lawn chair, kind of like a little recliner. Originally came from someplace like Bed Bath & Beyond. That the canvas part of it had broken, but one of the wonderful students in this class, Tiffany, she's awesome, but she's not tuned in right now. She made a wonderful rainbow canvas like seat for it. So I call that my rainbow dancing chair. And I wanted to bring that with me to the conference, but it was just simply not possible. There was not enough room in the car that I was sharing with to be able to bring that equipment. So that is actually a really good opportunity, because the truth is you don't need a special chair. You don't need a special recliner. You can do it sitting on your butt on the ground, sitting on a little cushion, sitting on a towel or a yoga mat, or sitting in an ordinary chair. So that is what I demonstrated at the workshop. So all of this in order to say, I'm not sure if you were able to see the actual dance there, and I do want members of this class to be able to access everything that the general public has been able to access, because you guys have all been incredibly loyal and with me on a very long journey here. Like, if anybody's going to learn about some piece of information, I would want it to be available to everyone here. So what I'm going to do is, for the first hour or so, hour and a half of this class, I'm going to go through the presentation that I did over the weekend at the conference, and then we're going to have an actual dance party. Because also I recognize that usually before I get going with the class, I set up my lights, I got my music going, and sometimes people tune in a little bit early and having an informal dance party, and it's so much fun. And you know something? We are going through very, very challenging times, very challenging portions of the journey in terms of our inner development of consciousness and perception, or what would be called spirituality, and also our external environment, everything that is manifested in terms of weather and the health of the planet, politics and the economy and larger social currents. All very, very unbelievably challenging. And literally, this is not some kind of maneuver where you pretend bad stuff isn't happening. It is the ultimate healthy and sane response to a very challenging or insane circumstance. We're going to dance. When life gets difficult, we are going to dance. When we have hard times, we're going to dance our way through it. And also, this is part of my philosophy of being here as Aurora, or my value system, let's say. That my approach is not to get a gun or a bomb or any kind of thing like that. And I don't know if saying those words flags my videos, but I'm trying to say, no, I never advocate violence, and I do not come here as an otherworldly visitor to say, let's get weapons and kill people. No, far from it. I come here with a tool that's like a tool of artistry. And I say the solution to all of this pathogenic behavior and circumstance that we are subjected to which we are subjected, is to dance. And it's not dancing against anyone. It's not like I'm going to dance you away from me. It is dancing yourself into the direction you want to go. I think we might have a visit from Dog Boss. What'd you say, Dog Boss? What you doing, girl? Oh, maybe not. She might want to chew on a chew toy. So, yes. So I'm going to do the presentation. Oh, here we go. Come on up, girl. Yeah. But I just don't want her to lick all my specially applied lipstick today because I don't think it would taste very good either. So cheeky vet traveled with me too when I went over to the conference. And I just have to tell you guys all, she was incredibly well behaved and just a super trooper on a very long car ride, and also having to be in a hotel and being very bored a lot. Like, I think that was the big challenge for her, is that she sometimes had to sit with me when I was doing panels or something like that and sit quietly on my lap when she's like, I really would rather be outside hunting a gopher. So just high praise for Cheeky the boss. And also she made friends with so many different wonderful people at the conference, and would just go right up to them and make lots of friends. So actually she was a wonderful addition to the conference. So let's see, now that boss is well installed, how about I get going on the, so I'm going to do a presentation and then we're going to have an actual dance party, which is what I was rambling about and saying. People kept on tuning in early and we kept on having an impromptu dance party. I said, hey, today is Halloween. Let's have some fun. Let's also, whatever, keep it lighthearted because we're doing this spiritual marathon. It's very, very challenging. So yeah, for the closeout of the semester, but I'm not going to have that as part of the recording. Sorry guys, but I'm sure I'll play music that I don't have the copyright to, and I don't want to have legal issues, YouTube issues, or whatever. So we will just, have that as part of the class. And when we do that dance party here, just for the class, I'll show you some of my lasagna dance moves, so that even if you weren't able to be at the actual conference, you could get an idea of what that's like. Because once again, like, everyone who's part of this class absolutely deserves to see everything, know everything, have access to everything. You've all been wonderful supporters and participants, and I'm happy to share something that would be considered a little bit private. So yeah, I also met another student of this class who, she does not have regular internet access, so she only looks at things after the fact. And lives in a rather rural area of New Mexico. She shared with me her practice, where she told me she doesn't move her physical body at all. Yeah, and she's been doing this for about 2 years. She spends actually a couple of hours every day in meditation, visualizing the flying rainbow lasagna. And she's doing really well, because what she described to me is that she envisions this almost as if it's a sphere, because it's turning around and, vibrating in so many different axes. And I said, when you tell me that, when you report that to me, then I know you're really on track. That's really doing the right thing. So I say that just in order to tell everyone that there's no right way, wrong way to do flying rainbow lasagna, the actual active verb or dance. So when I show you, what my dance moves are like, it doesn't mean you have to do it like me. If there are any movements that seem uncomfortable or inappropriate for your body, please don't do them or modify them. So I might move my neck around a lot. If you have mobility issues with your neck, please don't do that, or whatever it is. So these are some of the big takeaways, that first of all, you don't need a special chair in order to do this. And also, you don't need a perfect body. And I'll tell you, like, my body is healthy and well, and I've done a lot of healing in order to be healthy and happy and active here. And I'll also tell you, I still have some neurological deficits. It doesn't matter. It's not like this dance is only for someone who is an acrobat and works for Cirque du Soleil, or, is an absolute perfect yoga master or bodybuilder. That's what I'm trying to say. You can do the flying rainbow lasagna even if you have mobility issues, if you have neurological issues, if there are some things that you simply cannot do with your body. That doesn't mean it's not for you. It's still for you. You find ways to do it yourself. So there's everything in between, from sitting in, peaceful, contemplative, stillness is one approach, all the way up to vigorous dancing, which is another approach, and I'm sure everything in between. So all of that in order to say, please personalize. Let me just drink a little bit of juice. Thank you. I have my wonderful cannabis juice. Like, that's what this green part is down here. Let me just drink a little something. Yes, please personalize the experience, because I'm also trying to get across the idea, just like your fingerprint is unique to you, your DNA is unique to you, your trajectory through time is unique to you, your dance must be unique to you. So that's why I don't tell you what music to listen to, when to do it, how, what is your own approach. All I can do, like being an artist, is tell you, hey, this is my approach to artistry and lasagna making. So let me get my screen all set up. Hold on a minute. Just make a little bit of, I know I'm probably squinting over here. I want to make sure I've got my proper presentation all set up. Hold on a minute. This one is, okay, this one is actually how to do the dance. Let me go to the other one first. Here we go. All right, great. And I'm going to start with screen share. Great, so this is what I brought as the projected like PowerPoint. And let me show my face a little bit bigger over here. Get this. Cool. So yes, this is the flying rainbow lasagna, a higher dimensional, I don't know if you can see that, genetic oscillation. All right. And let's also see about how do I click through to make this go. There we go. Wonderful. You guys are already familiar with me. Let me also move my little thumbnail. Oh, hold on a sec. I'm just trying to, sorry. If I'm squinting, I'm scrolling, I'm trying to move this a little bit better so that you can see the stuff that's on the right hand of the screen more easily. I know where my cursor is. I'm very sorry. Anyway, you guys already know me. Everyone who's in this class already knows me for a really long time. My name is Aurora. I'm a galactic walk-in, and the reason I bring this up is because this is the portal or the vessel through which I came into this world. So yeah, did not fly here in a clank metal spaceship. And everyone who's in this class is already familiar with that. Sorry, I have dog hair up my nose. And that I was able to use this flying rainbow lasagna shape in order to not only transcend death, but to jump up and over the neurological difficulties that were the after effect of brain damage in this body. I'm part of a higher dimensional collective. That means it's not necessarily like I come from a planet or a star or a location that you point to, but I'm part of like a band. And the band travels from place to place, playing different gigs, but what matters is the type of music that we play. And it's at the value system. The value system is based on love and freedom is a totality experience. And that's really what has motivated me to create this genetic portal of the flying rainbow lasagna and come here because there was a lot of the antithesis of freedom going on here. I'm just drinking a little bit of water. And I was very offended by that, especially in the way that there was lack of freedom being applied to this particular body that I cared about and was connected to. So yeah, part of also my Aurora collective of non-terrestrial beings, one of the issues is that we do not use technology in order to have telepathy or to travel from place to place. How experts do star travel. All of it is done on a bridge of love using nothing more than your birthday suit, which is, your physical aspect and also your mind and your spirit and your consciousness and your passion and your emotions. There we go. So now I'm just going to click through. Everyone who's in this class, you're probably quite familiar with some of my artwork, but I wanted to show people who hadn't seen it yet. These are just some examples of actually earlier pieces that I did that exemplify this interdimensional language of color, line, movement, shape, form, texture, and tone being musical tone, that this is beyond sacred geometry. Because geometry means, here, I'll click through and I'll show you. That's a nice one, right? We got a couple of others. Sorry if there's a little bit of overlap. I don't know if you can see that properly. But just so you can get an idea. There we go. Let me see if I can move my thumbnail. Sorry, I can't find my cursor on here. I'm sorry, I'm having so many difficulties. We'll leave it be. Yes, geometry means geo, earth, and metric, measure. So we're measuring the earth, and that's appropriate if you're measuring farmland, which is what they used to do in ancient Egypt. But that's not what we're measuring. We're not just measuring like the shape of your skin cells or how your bones are fit together or something like that. We're measuring time. And that's what you see in these patterns on my shirt. And that's what you see in this drawing over here. I'm trying to move if I could find my cursor, then I could move. Oh, sorry. Wait. And can I switch backwards? There we go. Good. I switched backwards. That was good. Sorry, I'm having so much difficulty. I want to do is move this part where you see my face talking. Let's not get too much into it. What we are measuring when we measure these patterns that you see over here, it's time. possibilities and probabilities. So, it's a little bit challenging to talk about time because it's hard to see it. It's hard to point to it. It's not like a physical, tangible thing where we can say, hey, there's that thing that's called time, unless you point to a clock, right? So it's a lot easier if I have diagrams and things that I can show in pictures. And that's actually been my approach as Aurora. When I first came here as a walk-in, I just did lots and lots of drawings that were these diagrams and line drawings about time. And I wasn't articulate as I am now with my voice and, English words. And I simply would show the drawings to people because I thought, like, this will be just very intuitively obvious that I'm, showing everyone how time fits together. And people just thought I was showing them abstractions. They didn't understand that there was actual information in there. So it was actually a challenge of finding, over many years, finding my voice and finding how to articulate these ideas. And part of the challenge was being a cultural outsider, but a larger part of the challenge was brain damage, which had taken away some of my ability to choose the right word and express myself verbally. So I had to do a lot of rewiring to be able to, speak in a comfortable way. And so it was a long journey, but now I'm doing really well. So this language that you see on my dress and these paintings, I can only take credit for being the originator of that language if I dilate my identity to being, the divine being, the great composer. I mean, which is true because you, me, everyone, all the microbes, we're all the great composers. Spoiler alert, we are all the great composer. But in my small individuated container here, I cannot take the credit for creating this whole entire set of ideas. And I'm very flattered when people come into my studio and they look around and they say, oh, you invented, created all these patterns. And I'm like, no, I can't take the credit for that. So there is a great composer that is like, makes all of the music that is available in terms of patterns of consciousness. And I've perceived that music and I can read the musical score of the cosmos, cannot say that I wrote it and invented all of it as little old me. What I can say is that I invented and wrote the song, the melody known as the Flying Rainbow Lasagna. So that's like saying, I didn't invent all of music. I didn't invent every musical instrument. I wrote one song. I wrote a song and it's a really good song. I like this song. And it's pretty important because no one has ever written a song quite like this before. And that's really my motivation for being here as Aurora, as opposed to just, being an abstraction and not having to go to the grocery store and buy food and buy toilet paper, because it can be challenging to be here sometimes. My whole motivation is I want to share this information with the rest of the people that are here because you guys can all benefit from this. It's not just a proprietary idea that only works for me. It's something that is an idea that now is available to everyone. Yes, just like the 100th monkey idea, the idea that there might be a new technique or approach or behavior that once it is more widely adopted becomes, seamlessly integrated within entire society. So not something that you have to specifically read a book about and learn, but that it just becomes an idea that is available for everyone to access. So now let's see if I can go on to the next one. And let's also see if I can move my thumbnail. Can't move my thumbnail. Can I get? Oh my God, guys, look, I did it. Okay, cool. Now I hope you can see the stuff that's important a little bit better. Everyone in this class is already aware of this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Cool it. Cool it. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you. I'm very sorry, everyone. But not only is it Halloween, there's something agitating cheeky outside. That's it. Cool. All right, enough. And you're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't. Stop. Cool it. Come here. Chakras. This is a recap for everyone who's in this class, but I wanted to make certain that it was in the presentation that I did for everyone at the conference. Means nothing more than spinning wheel of energy. It is shaped like a torus or a donut and is composed of time. That all these shapes that you see in this figure over here are made of bundles of timelines, possibilities and probabilities, and that they have nested proportional shapes, and that the way that they fit together has everything to do with how fast each layer of reality is moving. And also there are integrations in terms of how they affect one another. So, if there's an interrelationship between, let's say, blue and yellow, and blue is up here and yellow is down here, then it means that there's an interrelationship between your insight and your intellect. And of course there is. So you can understand them as stacking, nested, proportional, kind of like gears that all end up to be part of the cohesive expression of you. There are 7 main chakras, and they correspond with the 7 colors of the rainbow. And we could also think